next witness.
Yes. Mary Martinson.
Martin, if you could please come over to the witness stand. Martin, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. Ms. Martinson, you tell the court your name, please.
Mary Martinson.
And you started at the elections office when?
I started permanent in 1987. I was a temporary worker in 1983.
And what is your title within the office?
Right now it's senior election technician.
Are you also known as the office manager?
Yes, I am.
And you have a business card that says you're the office manager, is that
Yes,
correct?
that is correct.
And does Pima County have procedures for backing up office computers?
I believe a backup is made of the Word documents accessed in Excel.
And when did you learn that procedure about what Pima County has?
I don't know when I learned that procedure. I can't remember when.
You recall being deposed on November 14th, 2007?
Yes.
And do you recall if I asked you at that time if the county had procedures for backing up information in its various offices?
I remember.
You recall your answer was you didn't know?
I don't know how they do it. I don't know when they started. I do know they do, or they did do backups because I changed the tape for Bryan.
What I'm wondering about is, as office manager, are you aware of the county procedures? Does the county have procedures?
Oh, no, I don't know that. I apologize. No, I don't know that.
Okay. Who does the backups in the election department?
I believe Bryan does.
And have you actually observed him do that?
The only thing I've observed is where the tapes were kept when his office was on the 8th floor, because I removed the tape and replaced it.
And the tape that you removed that's used for backups, would you describe that tape for the court, please?
It is it's smaller than a cassette tape with a metal jacket.
And do you know what a CD is?
Yes.
And it's not a CD?
No.
Right? Do you know what Bryan Crane did with the tapes that he backed up?
He used to take them home. I don't know what he does with them now.
And have you ever talked to him about where the backups went?
I don't understand your question.
Well, just let me look one moment, please. Would it be fair to say that you've never talked to Bryan Crane about where the office backups went, or have you?
No.
You said a minute ago, did you say he took them home?
Yes.
How do you know that?
I believe I saw him put them in his bag.
Huh?
I believe I saw him put them in his bag.
understand one of your jobs is ordering ballots,
That is correct.
and you ordered ballots for 13 to 14 years?
Yes.
And in that 13 and 14 years, what process did you use for ordering ballots?
I take current registration, round it up to the nearest 100, and then depending on the type of election, take a % of that for earlies.
And once you determine the number that needs to be ordered, do you give that information to Isabella Risa? Is that the normal process?
I let her know when it has been sent to whoever's going to print them.
And did you go outside the normal procedure in terms of the ordering of the RTA ballots?
Not outside the procedures that I have.
Are you aware that there's actually an agenda item at the Board of Supervisors meeting concerning that ballot contract with Runback, that it was outside the procedures that the Board of Supervisors have for their contract?
I was aware of that meeting, yes.
And the supervisors in Huckleberry objected to that, did they not? That procedure having been used by you without going through the county's procurement department?
I don't remember that.
Okay. Well, you read an article in the newspaper about it, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, and wasn't that the tone of that newspaper article?
The only thing I remember about the tone of the article was how it made people concerned about the correctness of the ballot rather than the way that the ballots were presented to be printed.
Well, the same issue that was printed in the newspaper, did Brad Nelson ever talk to you and tell you that your procedure had been improper?
No.
Did you read in the newspaper that the election department had improperly accepted checks from the Yes on 200 committee? The Yes on RTA committee?
I don't remember reading an article about that.
Yeah. Would you remember anyone talking to you about the fact that the law said that the person who submitted a pro or con argument, person or group, needed to write their own check?
The first that I heard about
Just a second. Are you asking about someone else outside of county employment? Treasurer?
Yes, Judge.
That's the standard, Judge.
Are you aware that that the special law passed by the legislature prior to the RTA vote required that arguments in favor and against that were submitted to your office to be printed in a publicity pamphlet, that the checks for those and the money had to be given by the individual or the group?
Check the foundation. Oh,
The first time I heard about that was during my deposition with you.
So Brad Nelson never talked to you about that?
No.
And you never learned that that your office had improperly accepted checks?
No.
And you didn't see that article?
No. I don't normally read the paper.
Okay. You are trained yourself on the computer, you know? The Jim's computer?
I was trained by someone from Diebold, yes.
And you have assisted in running the computer, correct?
Most of my assistance is reading or putting ballots through the readers, early ballots.
At the time of the May 16, 2006 election, you knew the pattern of the reporters.
Yes.
And you supervise write-in boards?
Yes.
Did you supervise any other boards?
Early ballot?
And do you have a role in keeping track of the number of early ballots that come into the election department?
Yes, I do.
How do you do that?
I take the receipts we receive from the recorders, put them in a spreadsheet, and then put down how many ballots have been rejected by the early ballot board and how many ballots have been sent to be counted.
And so you keep track of the ballots that come into the computer room to be counted.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
And then you put that on your computer?
Yes.
You have a little spreadsheet for that?
Yes.
And then you keep track of the number of ballots that are counted to match up with the ones that go into the room to be counted.
I get that number from Bryan.
And how many years have you been doing that, keeping track of those ballots?
I think since 2000?
Okay. So it's be 7 years
Mhm.
now. And during that 7-year period, did you ever learn that the GM software has something called a cards cast report?
I know that Bryan is using the cards cast report. I don't know when he started using that.
Yeah. Well, can you give us an estimate over that 7-year period? Is this something recently that he started?
I know that he used cardcast in 2006, but I don't know when he started using them. I just know he used them in 2006.
Well, describe report what a cards cast report is.
A cards cast report is the number of cards that have been read by the GEMS computer.
And is one of the things about it that it just tells you the number of ballots that have been counted, but not who's winning or losing?
That is correct.
And the information you needed was simply the number of ballots that were counted.
That is correct.
Did he commonly print the cards cast reports?
I don't know if he printed the report or not.
But do you remember him handing you a piece of paper that was a cards cast report?
I don't remember him ever handing me a cards cast report.
Do you know whether cards cast reports can be previewed on the computer as opposed to printed?
I do not know that.
So when you got these numbers from Bryan Crane, how would he let you know what the numbers were?
He would tell them to me. I would write it down on a piece of paper.
Did you see him print summary reports? Do you know what a summary report is?
Yes.
Okay. Did you see him print summary reports?
Yes.
And on what occasions did you observe the summary reports being printed?
He printed summary reports to give me the number we have just been talking about. He printed summary reports for the canvass. And I know he prints summary reports for the hand count audit, although I have not seen him do that.
Are you aware that summary reports can be previewed as well as printed?
Yes.
So, if Bryan Crane wanted to get a number off of a summary report, he could preview it and give you the number.
That's
correct?
true.
Right?
Yes.
And if I understand your testimony, when he gave you the number, you don't know which report you got it from. When he would give you a number, would you know if you got the number by previewing a summary report or by previewing a cards cast report?
Lately he's been doing it over the phone, so no, I don't know.
So lately over the phone, for what period of time, and is that because you're in a different office? Or
Yes.
for how many years of those 7 years did you personally get it from?
5.
And during the period of time, this period of time we've talked about, have you seen Bryan Crane print a summary report?
I've seen him print summary reports for the canvas and for the number that I needed.
Okay. And when he printed it for the number that you needed, what did he do with it?
He folded it in half, and we walked to the shredder, and he shredded it.
Okay. So to give you, with this on how many occasions?
For at least once for every election.
And on those occasions, instead of previewing or looking, he would print a summary report. Do you know how many pages he printed?
No.
And then the two of you would leave the office. Is that what your testimony?
We would leave the computer room,
Computer room?
go down the ramp to the shredder, and shred it.
And then shred it. And you would be right there in his presence, and you'd be shredding it on the shredder.
Yes.
We've had some testimony about ballot bags opened at the warehouse after the election day in November of 2006. Do you recall being with Romy Romero out at the warehouse opening ballot bags?
Yes.
Do you know if that was 2 days after the election?
I don't know when we did that.
And what is your political registration at that time?
I don't remember when I changed my registration. I was probably an independent at that time.
Can I ask, because a lot of the boards, like the boards you supervise, do you have political party representatives or individuals of different parties on
Yes.
the boards?
Yes.
And were political parties notified when you were opening the bags with Romy?
No.
Was it office policy not to let political parties know that that activity was occurring?
Political parties weren't as involved in the elections as they have become.
Yeah.
So we did not notify them prior.
Well, the King County Democratic Party in November of 2006 was involved, I think.
Yes.
And more so than prior elections?
Yes.
That's all the questions I have here.
Cross-examined.
Mr. Martinson. You've worked with elections since, did you say 1983? Is that when you were first on as a temporary?
Yes.
And then came on permanently in 87, and that was Larry Bayhill doing it then?
Yes.
As the elections director. So you've had over 20 years of experience in the Pima County Department of Elections.
That's true.
The Division of Elections.
Yes.
During any of your time in the Division of Elections, has there ever been any occasion in which it caused you some concern that the elections conducted by Pima County somehow did not reflect true voting?
I believe it was 1994. One of the precincts was erased from the computer after the cards had been read. I believe that was precinct 12. That was the only time I've seen where conduct was questionable by someone.
Okay. And the elections director was replaced shortly after that time.
Yes.
Would you say that the professionalism of the Division of Elections has increased over the years?
Yes.
You guys run a much tighter ship now, don't you?
Yes.
And your purpose of going into those ballot bags after election day in 2006 is to make certain you could retrieve those write-in votes, is that correct?
That is correct.
So, I mean, the whole idea behind this is to make certain that people who mark their ballot for a write-in candidate would have their write-in vote actually put in the official canvass.
That's correct.
In any of your involvement with ballots, have you ever altered a ballot or ever done anything which would change the voter's intent on that?
No, no.
As I understand, have you ever seen, as I understand from your testimony, that summary reports are generally run, certainly for the canvass, that's the ultimate summary report, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay? And you have to run the summary report prior to doing, now under the new law where we do the automatic hand counts, you have to run that summary report, right, for selection of precincts for the hand count.
That's correct.
Okay. And you also run summary reports, of course, once the polls close, right, and as the votes are coming in, you're running summary reports on a regular basis.
After 8 o'clock, yes.
After 8 o'clock. I have no further questions of this witness.
Redirect.
Yeah. Ms. Martinson, you were asked about your purpose in opening those bags, and quite correctly, your purpose was, and Romy's was to assist to get an accurate election count, correct?
Correct.
And would you agree that the political parties, when they participate with many observers, that you understand that they're not accusative about your election workers?
Jeff's
Yeah.
argument.
And that their purpose is to serve a public role in a different way, to see that so the public can have confidence that the election is accurate also. Isn't that right?
Yes.
And it's designed so that there's not a system where you have to trust nice people like you and Romy, but that the public can be assured that observers are present to observe the entire process.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Thanks. That's all.
Thank you.
Thank you.